Hello and welcome to the Print Interviews. I'm Ishadrita Lahiri and today we have joining us a very special guest, former Union Minister and the opposition's candidate for the upcoming presidential elections, Mr. Yashwant Sinha. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. Now, as I said before we started the interview, that you have been giving a lot of interviews, so I'll try and keep the questions a little different from what you've answered already.
Thank you.
So my first question, sir. In some of the recent interviews you've given, you've said that it is a perception that the numbers are stacked for the NDA candidate in these presidential elections. So why do you say that? On the basis of what? Because it seems like the NDA has all the numbers in its favor. There have been parties like the YSRCP, the BJD, and the JDS and the JDU, who have said that they will be supporting the NDA candidate. So why do you say that it's a perceptional thing that it's stacked for the BJP and NDA?
You know the procedure for presidential elections. MPs and MLAs cast their vote. There is no whip. It's a secret ballot. Why is it arranged in this way? Why? That's a simple question. If the Constitution wanted, or the rules for presidential elections wanted it otherwise, then they would have said, no, there is no need for an election. What the Election Commission should do, or Rajya Sabha Secretary General should do, is to call the heads of all the political parties registered with the Election Commission, ask them for their views, and decide who has won. And the Rashtrapati would have been elected. This is not the provision. The provision is for MPs and MLAs to cast their vote on a fixed day, between a fixed timing, and on the basis of a secret ballot. In our system of democracy, as parliamentary democracy, as you're aware, we have the system of whip, issuance of whips. Political parties issue whips, but in this election, why is it strictly forbidden? It is strictly forbidden because the rules and the Constitution envisage that elected representatives of the people, MPs and MLAs, will exercise their mind and take a decision accordingly.
And what is it that you're doing to ensure that some MPs and MLAs from these parties?
No, I'm going round. I've already covered 6 states, and I'm going
round. How's the
round.
response been?
The response in these states, of course, was overwhelming because these are all non-BJP ruled states. For instance, I went to Kerala. You know, the Kerala has 2 formations, the Left Democratic Front and the United Democratic Front. They have both pledged their support. There is no BJP in Kerala, so I'll get 100% votes there. You know, similarly, DMK is in power in Tamil Nadu. TRS is in power in Telangana. Congress is in power in Chhattisgarh. So everywhere that I've been so far, people are going to vote overwhelmingly in my favor. But that does not stop me. I'll go to other places also and appeal to all voters in the Electoral College to vote for me.
So, your autobiography, as I can see in front of me, it's called Relentless. And one thing everybody has been saying this election is that, again, a numbers game, we are in the media, we say certain things, we gauge certain things. But one thing is for sure that you will, because you're relentless, it is something that you will not let go till the last vote is cast. So, from that perspective, sir, what is the opposition alliance, like the opposition group of parties? How are you planning to reach out to, say, parties like the JMM, which are with the opposition and in the past have been anti-BJP, but because of the profile of the NDA candidate, the fact that she is a tribal woman, there is talk that, you know, parties like the JMM may also vote for her. So how are you planning to get these parties and secure their votes?
3 states in this country were created into separate states when Vajpayee ji was the Prime Minister. Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Now Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand are neighbors of each other with a similar population profile. I went to Chhattisgarh. I met the Chief Minister and the entire cabinet there, which included a large number of people belonging to scheduled tribes. None of them had any doubt in their mind that they will not, or they should reconsider voting for me, because the candidate on the other side had a certain identity. And there is a very large population, as you're aware, in Chhattisgarh, of various tribes, including the tribe to which the rival candidate belongs. So I don't know, I think this is part of the BJP's prachar, their publicity campaign, that look, oh, this is the lady, it doesn't cut any ice in Chhattisgarh. Why should it cut ice anywhere? I went to Telangana. It was one of the most, what shall I say, enormous reception that I received there. And Telangana has a large number of tribal population. Which state in this country does not have a tribal component? Every state has. So how come it has become an issue? Before this, I think in the last but one election, we had a candidate belonging to a scheduled caste. She was also a lady. I was around at that time. I don't think anybody made so much of her identity as a scheduled caste lady as is being made today of the identity of the candidate of the other side.
But that is the perceptional politics in a way that the
perception
BJP is
of politics, you people should refrain from it. Who creates the perception? The media creates the perception. And I'm therefore challenging it. I'm saying it's not a correct perception. And I have traveled around and I have found that nobody is concerned about these things. You know, nobody really is concerned about these things. They are concerned with other issues.
So do you think that the presidential candidate for the opposition should have been decided earlier? And when I say earlier, I don't mean 1 month or 1.5 months, say 6 months or 7 months earlier. And the tour that you're doing now, it could have been done for a longer period of time, again, because of this whole number.
It could have been decided the day the last Rashtrapati was elected. You can, why stop 6-7 months? You could say we should have decided, the opposition should have decided 5 years ago. No, these things are not done in such a way. The opposition, you should give credit to the opposition. That so many different political parties came together and then decided on their candidate, namely me, even before the government party declared its candidate. Isn't it? They are a monolith. Only one person takes the decision. So why did that person have to wait? Why didn't the government party declare its candidate 6, 7, 8 months in advance?
No, I'm just asking because of, again, how we were talking about the numbers, and they have majority, in parliament and otherwise, which is why, I mean, would it have helped the opposition if it had more time to, for the campaign? Would it have helped you if you had more time?
It certainly would have helped if I had 5 years, immediately after the election.
5 years is it?
No, why? I would have gone round, I'm an old man, I would have gone round and round and round this country, met the voters so many times.
But, okay. So, sir, my last few questions for you. You say that you have said many times prior that this is a symbolic fight also.
I didn't say it's a
symbolic fight in the sense that
No, they are making it.
It is an ideological fight.
They are making it. There is a world of difference
between symbolic and ideological.
Between symbolic and ideological fight. They are making it symbolic by discussing only the identity of their candidate. For me, for us in the opposition, that's not the issue. As I have said repeatedly, it is not a contest between two identities. It's a contest between two ideologies.
I'm sorry, I used symbolic was the wrong word to use, but you say that this is an ideological fight. And in the context of today's day and time, sir, where we see that narratives are, as we were just saying, even in this case, narratives are often appropriated by the ruling party. They're appropriated by the machineries of the ruling party. So in that context, sir, this ideological fight, why is it important?
It's not merely the government agencies which are appropriated or misappropriated by the ruling party. All of you are also misappropriated. And that's what in popular perception makes it an unequal fight. The Prime Minister was in Hyderabad yesterday. He addressed a public meeting. All channels went live with his speech. Every second, every minute of TV time has a price.
Of course.
So, the exposure that he gets would be in terms of crores of rupees every day. But he gets it free. Because if you don't, then you are in trouble. So what happens? He has a tremendous advantage over everybody else. In the sense that other people's speeches or utterings will not be shown, but his speeches will be telecast live. It is an unequal fight, not only in terms of numbers, but in terms of every other parameter.
The machinery is
but if we are fighting, then we have to fight. Irrespective
how do you go around this, sir, though? Because it is a disadvantage that the opposition faces. Not just for this election, but for any other election, actually.
But still the opposition wins. The BJP does not exist in Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, it does not exist.
Chhattisgarh,
all these places. In Chhattisgarh, Congress has 71 MLAs out of 90. So, to think that it's BJP all the way is wrong. No. There are states where the opposition parties have come into power by dint of their own hard work and by convincing the people. So the question is of going out to the people, convincing them about your ideology, about your programs of action, and then hope for the best.
Sir, my last two questions. Day before yesterday, Ms. Mamata Banerjee had said that, I wish the BJP had asked us and we could have come up with a consensus candidate. What is the reason for such a statement, sir, as your campaign is progressing? Like, how do you see that statement?
I am saying the same thing myself. At number of places I have said that the post of Rashtrapati is such a dignified post that perhaps there should have been no election for it. Perhaps the parties in the opposition and the party in power should have sat together and worked out a consensus, isn't it? So Mamata Banerjee said nothing which is unwelcome. I welcome this statement, and it is the failure of the ruling party that for this highest constitutional post, there's going to be an election.
My last question, sir, this is something that I don't see discussed much in the interviews that you've given till now, which is your association with tennis at one point in time. So I'd like to ask you that in this presidential battle, if we can call it a match, are you going to be playing 3 sets if required, all 5 sets if required, or is there a chance that you might give a walkover, or is there no chance at all?
I wouldn't be sitting here and talking to you if I wanted to give a walkover, isn't it? I would have said no interviews, nothing. I am not going anywhere. Opposition parties have selected me as their candidate, so be it. I am not going to work hard at all. Let them do what they want to do. Let there be an election, win or lose, I don't care. But am I behaving like this?
Relentless, as I said.
I am telling you with full sense of responsibility, I have today covered more states than the ruling party candidate.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and
Thank
best
you.
of luck for the elections. That was the opposition's presidential candidate, Mr. Yashwant Sinha. We will be following the entire presidential election very closely at The Print, and you can watch our coverage at theprint.in. This is Ishadrita Lahiri with Nirmal Poddar in Delhi. Thanks for watching.